Justin from Pizzatography. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend.
How's it going?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me once again.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
I'm excited to talk to you about something that has been on my brain for, I'd say, I don't know. I got into it probably about 3 to 5 months ago, really like researching it. But we're going to talk crypto. We're going to talk NFTs. And obviously, we're going to talk a little bit pizza. So before we get into that, I don't know. I mean, I know you joined us for the Pizza Summit and we had you on the podcast, but like just real quick, give everybody like an update of what you do and where you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Justin. Here, my handle is Pizzatography, representing Cowabunga Pizzeria in Hamilton, Ontario. Me, a couple of buddies started it up last year in October in the midst of the pandemic. We're doing pretty good now. We have a kind of Neapolitan American style inspired pizza. We love pizza. Got my dog in the background here.
And you started during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, we did start during the pandemic. Give me
nice. Yeah. Go do what you got to do. That's the thing. That's the fun part about doing these live shows is you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here at home right now, so.
You got a great background there, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is my kitchen right here. So.
So let's talk about it. So NFTs, crypto. You know, I put something out there. You and I messaged each other back and forth. I was curious about anybody who's using crypto or into it or who have purchased NFTs. When did you start hearing about crypto and NFTs? How long have you been in kind of it on your radar for?
So I've heard about cryptocurrency. I remember getting Facebook ads about Ethereum back in 2017, saying that this could be the next big thing. Ethereum was like $5, $10 at the time. And I didn't really look too much into it up until the point where I saw somebody on my Facebook talking about cryptocurrency and the actual use cases that it does have in the world. And at that point, I reached out to the person. I asked them for a consultation on, what cryptocurrency is, what the craze is all about and whatnot. And that's when I really got into it. So late 2017, early 2018, kind of the first bull run that they had in cryptocurrency. I was definitely glad to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm late to the game because I heard about it a year or two ago, and I've heard of Bitcoin for a while, but I never really, I don't know if I want to say I never really took it seriously, or I never really thought of its use case for restaurants and pizzerias. But in the last, I'd say this year is when like NFTs and like you said, Ethereum and the way that you can use Ethereum and how it works and how it connects to kind of smart contracts and NFTs. It's been something I've been thinking about of like how restaurants and pizzerias can leverage that as a way to take payment and maybe sell rewards programs or do events or do pop-ups or something like that in their business that can benefit them and like take out all the middlemen.
Absolutely. Well, you see it right now in El Salvador, actually. They have like 12 McDonald's out there. And El Salvador has been, I believe, the first, if not one of the first countries to actually accept Bitcoin as legal tender.
Yeah.
So McDonald's has now given people the ability to pay with Bitcoin. They print you out a QR code, and I'm not entirely sure how the process works, but you are able to pay with Bitcoin. One thing I'm a little weary of that is the processing time and the fees that it might take for something like Bitcoin to get processed. It's really interesting when you get into the cryptocurrency or the blockchain world, more so in specific, to see all the types of applications that you can put underneath this technology.
Yeah, I think they just did an update to Bitcoin that makes the processing a little faster, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so they're always working on new protocols, new halvings, new ways to process Bitcoin or Ethereum or these tokens to make it either faster, more efficient, less less straining on the environment, because it does take a lot of electricity to produce a lot of these tokens.
Yeah, mining Bitcoin and mining, for anybody who's not out there, is you're not like going to a mine physically. It's like you search the internet and you do these mathematic equations. And by solving these mathematic equations, you get Bitcoin in return. But it takes a lot of computer processing power and electricity in order for you to be able to mine those and do those equations. So that's why when someone says Bitcoin is not necessarily great for the environment, it's because it does take a lot of electricity resources in order to have a computer that's strong enough and fast enough to do the mathematics to mine those Bitcoins.
Absolutely. I mean, the argument as well is to that is how much power does it take to create paper currencies and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So I think we fully know in the long run what will be the best for the environment at this point. But the whole cryptocurrency landscape is definitely, I think, here to stay.
And then you know what the difference is? And I talked about this on a podcast with Dennis Lee from Sunset Squares, who I think you and I kind of messaged a little bit about. He's in San Francisco.
Yeah, I was looking at
He
their place.
he takes a little bit of crypto. He does accept it. He doesn't say he's in the environment in San Francisco where it's a little bit more tech advanced than rest of the country because they're used to the technology, and like it's Silicon Valley. That's where everybody in technology is based out of. So they're a little ahead of the curve when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I forget what I was going to say. We totally talked about Dennis Lee, and I totally forgot what I was going to say, what my point was.
That they dropped NFTs.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does a gallery. So he doesn't necessarily do NFTs as the pizzeria. He has artists come in and has like an art gallery, and you can purchase NFTs in the art gallery. So it's almost like a pop-up event that he does. Yeah. And what happens is, obviously, if you have an NFT event, right, it's going to bring in people who are crypto savvy, and they're probably going to pay with Bitcoin. Here's my point. My point was, if you look at cryptocurrency, I think, and like, this is not financial advice, so take it or leave it. I am a moron with a microphone. Do not take any advice from me. I think crypto is always going to increase in value, right? Because especially like something like Bitcoin, where there's a limited supply. So if you accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment, yes, it may be a little harder for you to use to buy products, but that's like an investment that you're having that over the course of time is going to increase in value, whereas the dollar doesn't. Look at what's happening right now with all the price inflation.
Yeah, it's crazy. The problem with Bitcoin is, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't have any real intrinsic value right now.
Right.
Still a lot of hype. It's still a lot of speculation, but the adoption of it is going up every day. The Staples Center has just been renamed to the Crypto.com Center.
I saw that.
It's getting very big, and I think it's up to the people to adopt it. It's up to the people to give me one sec. All right.
Yeah. So Justin's referring to the Staples Center, which is Los Angeles, where the Los Angeles Lakers play, was called the Staples Center. And they just went into an agreement with Crypto.com for the naming rights. And I think it was something like $700 million for a 20-year naming rights. So they're going to name it Crypto.com Center. And Crypto.com paid $700 million to be able to use their name as the naming rights for the new the Staples Center, which was where the Lakers play. So right now we're talking with Justin from Cowabunga Pizza, and he is just Pizzatography, which is scrolling on the bottom of the screen right now. We're talking a little bit of crypto. We're talking Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs. I actually did something about NFTs inside of our mastermind group, and I talked about how I think people can use NFTs. And Justin, can you explain what an NFT is for people?
So NFT stands for a non-fungible token. An NFT is essentially an item, a digital item that is created online that has the source code to it, I guess you can say. It's a picture. I have this print right here behind me. It's a print from Van Gogh, but it's not the original. It's just a print that I framed, that I put in my apartment to make it look nice. But there's no real value here. There's only value in the actual frame. There's only value in the actual ink and the paper and whatnot. Right. If this was a real Van Gogh piece, it would have a lot more value towards it. Why is that? Because Van Gogh actually touched it. He actually put his hands on it. He actually created it. Now, NFTs are very similar to that. And a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around NFTs because essentially it's just an image that you can screenshot, but these images are selling for lots of money.
Right. Like CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club is popular NFTs that are selling for, I think CryptoPunks, there's some that sell for $500,000, $600,000, or even millions of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. And people will ask all the time, well, why would somebody pay $1 million, for a photo that I can just screenshot and put on my profile picture if I want?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, well, why would somebody pay, uh, $1 million for this picture right here when I can just print it out, frame it and put it on my wall?
Right.
What's the difference?
I mean, the only difference is it's digital and people can see it online. And I think the difference is it's harder to tell if that photo that you have on your wall is the real thing or not, right? Like there has to be some sort of certificate of authenticity that makes it say
Yeah.
this is the real one.
You need a professional to be able to look at the photo to be able to tell you whether or not this is real.
Right.
Whereas with the NFT, you just need to look at the wallet. You just need to look at the contract, and you just need to look at the ledger, and you'll know this came from the original. This isn't a fake. It's the counterfeit industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Whether that's watches, whether that's sneakers, whether that's art. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, the biggest benefit with blockchain is how trustless it is. You and I can exchange a good and we can exchange currencies within it and know that we can trust each other. Not because I trust you as a human, but we both trust the system that we're using.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does. There's a video, and I should link this up. There's a couple of videos that if you're like watching this and you're a little bit, because it's a little overwhelming and it's a little complicated to understand if you haven't spent a little bit of time researching it. There's two videos that you should watch if you're interested in cryptocurrency or NFTs, and you're like, all right, I think that I should listen and do a little bit of research, and maybe it'll be good for my business. There's two videos, and I'll link them up because I don't know the exact names of them. I'll put them in the comments section if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube or the description, wherever you're watching this. One is from Tom Bilyeu, who has Impact Theory podcast, which is on YouTube. And he does a really, really good job of breaking down. It's like a 30-minute video, so you're going to need to spend some time watching it. He does a fantastic job of breaking down cryptocurrency, NFTs, what the use cases are for businesses and why they're the future. Really, really fantastic video. I highly suggest you watch it. I'll link it up in the description. There's another video of where on YouTube of where money comes from and why money, the way we know it with paper and coins that's not associated with gold, how it works, why it's important to know where it comes from, and how and why inflation fluctuates so much and the people who are behind it. And when you watch that video, you understand the importance of cryptocurrency because it's not easily manipulated. It's not going to be able to be manipulated like the dollar is, where they can be like, all right, you know what? We're going to shut the economy down and we're just going to send everybody money. We're just going to print tons of money. And for a year, we're just going to send people money. Stay home. Here's your thousands or dollars or whatever you got from the government. And then the government's just going to print money. What happens now? Gas prices is $4 a gallon. We have a supply shortage. Everything's more money. That's because the people who are behind the dollar just decided that let's just inflate the dollar and send out more money to everybody. Cryptocurrency, you're not allowed to do that. It's like a shorter supply. It's an infinite supply. And those videos are a great way to watch and understand why it's important. And I think that's why businesses should be aware of it. I don't know if it's going to be something that they should get into right now, but definitely have it on your radar. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's interesting when businesses are really starting to look at adopting cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and things like that. I've thought of releasing, my own NFT, for the pizza industry a lot. But when it comes to NFTs and these tickets, I guess you might say, when it comes to business, NFTs really need to have a lot more utility behind them. So right now, people think of NFTs as, oh, it's a photo of a pixelated icon and it's worth lots of money just because of the community behind it. They like the art and they actually like the creator behind it.
Right.
Whereas I think that's going to die out. I think that there's too many people right now taking advantage of this craze, and they're hiring artists on like Fiverr. They're hiring developers to create NFTs on any of the newest, latest crazes, whether it's dogs, whether it's cats, whether it's punks, whether it's this or that. And a lot of people are making a lot of money off of it. But in the future, I think you're going to need some real utility behind your NFT if your NFT is going to be successful. What I say by utility, for example, like if you have a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, it'll get you invited into certain parties, in Hollywood or in, wherever.
Right.
You might meet Snoop Dogg. You might meet some other high profile people that might be interested in you, because if you have this NFT, you probably know a lot about cryptocurrency and NFTs and the metaverse and whatever is in that, scope right there. So when it comes to me, and when I think of, developing something like an NFT for the world to benefit from, for the pizza industry to benefit from, it's like, all right, if I drop these NFTs, when companies drop their NFT project, what they'll do is they'll create 5,000 to 10,000 unique images, and they're all one of ones. They're all unique to each other. Not one image is the same, but some images will be rarer than the others. So take pizza photos, for example. If I were to do an NFT right now, it could be like the pizza slice NFTs or the whole pizza NFTs, where the image that you receive is a slice of a pizza and a topping combination on there. Now, every pizza for the most part is going to have cheese on there.
Right.
So if you get an NFT and that pizza doesn't have cheese on it, well, that's a really rare pizza now, because out of all 10,000 of those NFTs, 9,000 of them had cheese on it, but 1,000 of them didn't have cheese on it. Now you are in a rarer category. It's like Pokemon cards, kind of, but Pokemon cards are all duplicates, and there are many of them. There's copies of them. You'll only get one rare out of each booster pack. You'll get some uncommons, but mostly commons. But with NFTs, there's only 10,000 NFTs, if that's what your project is doing. And what some people will do is, or what some projects what will happen in some projects is the rare NFTs are just going to skyrocket in price. But even the common NFTs, they'll have the floor price. And the floor price is what is the bottom price people will pay for the most common NFT that there is. So if I were to drop an NFT, it wouldn't just be based on price, because I'm not into NFTs for people to just, get rich, flip and whatnot. I want to get into NFTs where, let's say if you own this specific pizza NFT and it, has anchovies on it, that's a rare category of NFTs, because only 100 out of the 10,000 NFTs have anchovies on it. So if you have one of those pizza NFTs, we're going to mail you a gift certificate every month, a unique gift certificate that was drawn by our artist as well. And you can use that gift certificate at Cowabunga, or it doesn't even have to be Cowabunga. Maybe this collaborates with other pizzas in the industry. Maybe this pizzeria wants to, get in on this NFT project now, and we're dropping this. It's a collaboration with XYZ Pizzeria in XYZ city. If you get the 100 rarest NFTs, we'll give you this. If you get the 50 rarest NFTs, we're going to throw a party in a secret location, and I don't know, somebody crazy is going to be there, and you're going to get to meet all of your, whatever.
Yeah.
So you really need utility now when it comes to NFTs, and that's what businesses need to think about when it comes to that. What type of free stuff are you going to give away to your people that have your NFTs? Will your NFTs evolve? Maybe you have a party one day. Hey, I'm going to throw a pizza party. To get into the pizza party, you need to buy an NFT. The NFT comes with a ticket, but the NFT is just an image. Now, let's say 1 year later, I want to do a surprise event. Hey, if you're still holding this NFT, that's the ticket into this party. If you don't have the NFT, that's fine. You just have to pay $500 to get in.
Right. I think rewards programs are a great way to use NFT too. Like, imagine if you could have you sell. So an NFT, like you said, is an image. You have to mint it on OpenSea or Rarible or one of those websites.
Yeah.
That's a whole different podcast we're going to do. But let's just say how to do that. If you could have an NFT as pizza industry has always been looking for a way to have a reward system. And like with point of sales, you do, right? You buy so many pizzas, you get points, you turn those points in for stuff from your business. The problem with that is if that person moves, all those points are wasted, right? Like they can't get rid of that rewards program. It's solely based on what they've done at your business. I think NFTs would be cool if you set up a reward system, right? Like if you have, all right, there's not going to be a ton. I'm not going to do 10,000. We're going to do 500. We're going to set up 500 NFTs. If you purchase this NFT for whatever price you say, every month you get 10% off your bill, right? Now, what happens is, say that person moves in a year. That NFT still has value attached to it. So they may not use it, but then they could sell that to somebody else who is in the area because there's only 500. And then what happens is with these smart contracts, you can put into that contract as the person who sold the NFT originally. Every time that sells in the future, you get 10% of that sale. So if your business is more popular and in more demand in the future, and someone bought it for 1,000 today, in a year or 2 years from now, it's worth 2,000 because prices go up. You get 10% of that 2,000, and then if it sells again in 2 years, you get another 10%. And that's the cool thing about NFTs that business owners can do that you can't do with a point of sale reward system.
The reward system thing is definitely very interesting. One second, I'm just trying to set up my camera here.
That's something I've been thinking about a lot, is how to do that if I was a pizzeria, that's what I would start with, because it's the easy way to start, right? Like, I don't think there's any downside to starting that way and see if there is you just got to create 500 images. You got to mint them. Obviously there's a little bit of a gas fees that comes with minting. And see if there's a demand there. I mean, it may be a little bit early for people to purchase those and understand how it works, but that's how I would use it in my pizzeria if I was doing it today, right now, to start. It's
so early, honestly. It's so early. The number one thing I think of when it comes to this, we could have the greatest ideas. I talk, with different artists all the time about the adoption of NFTs, but once we start talking about things like MetaMask and gas fees and OpenSea and minting, it gets to a point where it's very intimidating for the average person to try to get into. So I think to myself all the time, what's it going to take for somebody to be like, okay, I'm going to get into this. Like, it's worth it. I'm going to take that half an hour, that hour to, go through the headache of figuring out how to buy an Ethereum from Coinbase, transferring my Ethereum to MetaMask, then using my MetaMask to either mint from the actual website or from OpenSea, and then actually having my NFT on my MetaMask.
It sounds like so much work.
Yeah, it really does.
Have you created one yet? Like, have you created an NFT from start to finish, doing all that process yet?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've purchased NFTs myself personally, but I haven't gotten into any process of creating any. A lot of ideas, but I don't know. We're still in such a space, right? And also at the end of the day, like, if Ethereum crashes and I was to drop an NFT right now, a lot of people think that Bitcoin might have a bear run, which is when the price of Bitcoin and all of the other cryptocurrencies start crashing. And if you're to drop a NFT project in the peak of a cycle, where everybody's talking about it and the price of everything is at an all-time high, but in 2 months from now you drop your NFT project, and in 2 months from now the price of everything just plummets. You also don't want to feel bad. You also don't want people blaming you for losing money and whatnot, but you're not a financial advisor. You just dropped an NFT.
Well, I think that's too, like with the rewards program that I referred to, I don't know if that price of the NFT will matter as much, because you do get something with it, right? Like, you are getting something. And as long as you say you paid $1,000 for it and you get 10% off your bill, and you go to this pizzeria twice a month, and that 10% off equates to $10 or $20 a month. As long as you hold it for a year or two, you got your money back, regardless of what happens to that price.
But gas fees.
Oh yeah, true. That is true.
The gas fees are going to cost you what? Like right now, anyways, as of the November 17th, 11:30 a.m., even if you were to purchase a $10 NFT on the Ethereum network, the gas fees for that is going to be like $150.
Yeah, because it's busy right now.
Yeah, very busy. So like I said, I mean, I think the market needs to cool down from a lot of the fake projects that are going on that don't have any actual value.
Yeah, a lot of people are just minting 10,000 photos of JPEGs to get some sort of community going and sell them.
Yeah, exactly. I think when it cools down a bit and people start adopting it more and the speculation prices kind of wane down, I think that's when it's going to be a really good time to start developing your NFT as a business.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even matter if you're in pizza or if you're in beauty, or if you're in sports, or if you're in entertainment, or if, you know, whatever it is. Tory Lanez dropped an NFT, and each one of those NFTs came with a copy of his album. He sold 1 million of those NFTs for $1 each in seconds.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, like there's so many things that you could do. I'm just thinking about that. Like if someone purchases your rewards NFT, not only do you get rewards, but you could do like, all right, we're going to have a monthly Zoom pizza making class, and we're going to send you a kit that goes with that class. And you only have access to it if you
have the NFT.
Yeah. So like there's so many things that you can do with it. Like you said, you just have to look at the costs and see, all right, what price do I have to sell it at to make it the costs okay for all those fees and make it worth it for the person who buys it.
Yeah, and what do I have to do to educate my customers to, you know, get them to even figure out how to get, you know, I've been, you know, I met with an artist early last week, and we were talking about like, how do people adopt these things? Maybe it has to be a party. Maybe people need to come to this, you know, pizza party where you learn how to purchase your first NFT. And if you come to this pizza party,
yeah,
you're going to learn how to buy an NFT. You know, like I said, it might be a bit of a headache for everybody in there for the first 20 minutes to half an hour, but everybody will walk out of there with an NFT. And then maybe, you know, with that NFT they walk out of with, in 3 months down the line, that same company throws another party only for people that still have that NFT. There's ways to go about how people can adopt this. And I think right now it's the most important thing. People need to get over the hurdle of the headache of purchasing an NFT, because it is a headache. When I figured it out at first, like I was, you know, almost losing my mind at how many steps it was to just buy an image that you can make on Paint.
You know what though? I did create NFTs. I have created some. I didn't sell them on the open market. Like there's a process you go through, and then like you have to hit complete and like publish it, and then you pay the gas fee and it goes on the open market. Yeah. I did everything except hit the button that says publish and it's for sale. So I went through the entire process. The only thing I didn't do was hit the button. And once you understand all those steps, like you said, creating a Coinbase account or whatever account it is, connecting your wallet, and then, you know, going through the process of uploading your image. You have to create the image or get an image that you do. It could be a video, it could be audio, it could be a regular just still photo. Upload that and then go through the steps. It's not that hard. It's a little confusing if you're starting from zero, for sure. But if you have knowledge and you've watched some videos on YouTube and you understand terminology, like if you don't know what MetaMask means or what Coinbase is or what OpenSea is, you're going to be lost. But if I said those 3 words and you're like, I know what all those are, in a half an hour, you can create an NFT.
And it doesn't take a lot to understand Coinbase, MetaMask, and OpenSea.
Yeah.
At first, it's a very unusual concept because we're so used to just, I'll send you an e-transfer, I'll Venmo you, I'll PayPal you, I'll Cash App you.
Right.
And, you know, you just send it to me. Whereas this is like 3 extra steps to just getting something that you want. It's, I don't even know what the word is. It's not simple enough.
Let me ask you this.
But it's worth it.
Definitely. You should definitely, I'm going to drop some links of some videos you should watch and in your free time. Not you, Justin, because you know, but like other people who are watching this with us or in the future. Let me ask you this. So when I first started this podcast in 2014 was my first podcast. If I put 100 pizza operators in a room and said, how many of you of the 100 listen to podcasts? Probably 7 people would have raised their hands. Now it's probably 70 that listen to podcasts, and everybody knows what a podcast is. Absolutely. So in 7 years, it's grown that much. If you put 100 of your customers in a room today, Justin, how many of them, if you say, hey, how many of you know what an NFT is? Raise your hand. of 100 of your customers currently, how many do you think would raise your hand right now?
I have maybe 10.
Yeah, so we're early. We're in that beginning stages.
Yeah.
Of that 100,
yeah,
10 know what it is. How many do you think have purchased one?
Maybe 3.
Yeah, so a tiny amount.
That's like a high estimation as well, though. I think in the future, every ticket that you purchase is going to be an NFT. I think when it comes to baseball games, when it comes to going to the theater, especially when it comes to like the special games, like if it's like a Winter Classic or if it's like the premiere to Spider-Man Homecoming or something like that, where there's big hype behind it. You can go on eBay right now and you can purchase the ticket stub for the 1992 Blue Jays Major League game, where they won the championship, and it's probably going to cost you a lot of money to purchase that ticket stub. Right. But there's a lot of history behind it. There's a lot of memory behind it. So if a pizzeria, a business, especially in this pizza industry, were to be the first one in history to drop a project like this, sick.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, we're early, but sometimes the early people who are the innovators get the most attention with that innovation.
Imagine you own like the first Cowabunga Pizzeria NFT.
Right?
No, but seriously, like imagine. Okay.
Well, it's going to be like that guy who sold. Remember, buying the first NFT today, and hopefully this isn't like the same correlation, but you're going to remember it like the first guy who paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas back in 2011.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be like, oh, the guy paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. That 10,000 Bitcoin today is like $600 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a company is going to one day drop an NFT and, the first person that gets this NFT gets a 5%, equity share in this company. Maybe that's
I want to partner with somebody. If anybody's out there watching this and they want to create an NFT reward system for their business, email me. I want to work. I'll help you go through the process. I'll help you create them and mint them and sell them, because I really want someone to do this, but I think there's like that learning curve there. I don't think anybody's going to do it on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a whole process it's a whole process with the consumer and the business as well. You got to get people in on it, and you got to get people to know that it's worth going through the headache of learning this for, it's only like half an hour to an hour, really.
Yeah.
It's so intimidating for the average person that has been using, regular forms of currency their entire life, which is pretty much all of us.
Everybody. Yeah. Nobody understands. Like, no one's been through this before. Crypto's been out for a while, but it's just, I feel like it's just this year that it's more talked about in the mainstream with everyday people.
Yeah. Especially with things like the metaverse, happening. I think we're going to see a lot more digital innovations popping up, because the physical innovations in technology, in my opinion, are coming to a halt. TVs, smartphones, computers, they're not really getting that much better.
No.
Than they were 5 years ago. It's almost like they've hit a roof, and now they have to figure out other things to innovate. And this whole virtual augmented reality sphere seems like it's the next place that we're headed to. And cryptocurrency seems like it has a big place in that future.
I'm fascinated by this. Justin, thank you for joining me on the podcast. It was a great conversation. If someone wants to go say hello to you or reach out, or maybe if you do sell an NFT, they can be on the lookout. Where can they go say hello to you? Yeah, for sure. Hit me up at Pizzatography. If you're ever, in Canada and Hamilton, check out our pizzeria, Cowabunga Pizzeria, at Cowabunga Pizzeria on Instagram. Excellent. We'll link all that up in the show notes for this episode too. So go to smartpizzamarketing.com. We'll link up your Instagram, your website, and hopefully if you do launch an NFT in the future, please let me know. Oh, definitely. I want to see how that works out for you. Yeah, for sure. If you are interested in listening to this, to create your own NFT, let's talk. I'd love to have you. Maybe we can do a podcast about that with somebody where we walk through the process of actually doing it. So hit me up. Bruce at smartpizzamarketing.com is my email, or you can drop a comment wherever you're watching this. Justin, don't hang up, but thank you so much for joining me on the podcast, my man. Cheers, everyone.